Hello, besties. Welcome back to the sleepover. I'm so excited. Today, I have with me Roma Riaz, Miss Universe Pakistan, one of the sweetest girls I've had the privilege of knowing. And now she sits beside me here in Dubai at our studio. And I can't wait to ask her all the juicy questions. She has stolen the hearts of so many people after overcoming so much hate. And it's high time she gets her roses, don't you think? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so lucky to be here with you today.
I am so happy to have you on. This was like one of the first things I think I discussed with you before my poddy even started, right? Roma,
So lucky.
so much to talk about. But before everything, I want to know, how would you describe yourself today?
I would describe myself as a fun, average girl. I love iced lattes, matcha, hot Pilates, and spending time with my family and friends. I'm just a girl.
She's just a girl. I love that. And I love that you embrace that. Like, how old are you now? So that the people who might not know.
When I started my Miss Universe Pakistan journey, I was 24 and I've just turned
Mashallah.
25. So I'm just young.
She's just a girl, for real. Do you have memories of having sleepovers when you were younger? Does this setup feel a little familiar, or were you not allowed to have sleepovers?
This part, I think that's quite collective for all ethnic groups. We
Right.
were not allowed sleepovers. So I had very few with my friends, close family friends, but it was mainly just going to my sister's room.
And then
Sleeping with
binge
them.
watching movies and snacking.
Yeah.
You know what? That counts. Why
It
not?
does.
I ask that now because when I first started this show, I would have people come on and I'm like, oh my God, cute. Let me know what their sleepover memories are like. And then I realize all my guests are usually from the Middle East. And they're like, I wasn't allowed to go on sleepovers. I'm like, man, what do I talk about with you guys? So
Did
now
you do a lot of sleepovers?
I did. I
Wow,
did.
You were one of the lucky ones.
I rebelled a lot.
Oh.
That's a thing. So no, it was always fun. I mean, I was raised by chick flicks, so that's
I
why I
love
have such
that.
unnecessary standards on everything. But everything is
Correct.
romanticized.
Yeah,
You know?
as
I
it should be.
romanticize being a journalist, having this podcast, meeting people like yourself. So it's fun.
Oh.
But it's been really interesting. Like I said earlier, we all saw what it was like when Roma was crowned Miss Universe Pakistan. There was a lot of negativity, so much so that even my best friend Heidi and I, who you got to meet, were like, we wish we could shield her from all of this because it's insane. You know how that can get. I personally relate to that as well. But towards the end of the competition, you really emerged almost like a phoenix and blew everybody away, not just with your
Yeah.
performance, but with your heart, with your authenticity, and I think your strength.
Yeah.
And people, I would say the one word to describe what people did was people underestimated you,
Yes. I would have to agree with that.
right?
Yeah.
When really you have so much grit, so much passion, and so much to offer. And I think this
Absolutely.
is just the beginning for you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, before Miss Universe Pakistan, what was life like before that? Where were you born? How would you describe the place that
Oh.
raised you?
I love that question, actually. I was
you.
born and raised in Saudi Arabia up until 9, 10 years old. I would describe it as fun, warm, and a lot of beaches.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time on the beaches and the parks. Oh, it was a lot of fun growing up. It was a huge community. I've always grown up with so many family and friends. So I think that's also why I've been so good with all of this, because I have such a good support system. Even now, my family has been the biggest blessing in all of this journey. So
They really
that
are.
would be my childhood. Just a lot of family love.
I love it. We have her sister also behind the scenes. Shout out, the
She's right
best
here.
support system. At which point did you move back to England, like from Saudi, or were you like in Saudi for a majority of your until your adult life?
Yeah, so we were in Saudi up until 8, 9, I want to say.
Okay.
And then we did 1 year in Pakistan, and then I moved to the UK.
Oh, wow. How was that like, going to Pakistan after being in Saudi?
I think good. I think Saudi and Pakistan are actually quite similar in terms
Right.
of the community, and the people's mindsets are very similar. And I was young, so it's easy to adapt.
Right.
I think the biggest shift would have been moving to England. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you go into a country where in Saudi we did learn to speak English, but the accent isn't as the same as the British accent.
Right.
And like I said, Saudi and Pakistan are quite similar in the sense the community lifestyle, the similar mindsets. Whereas going to England, it was a whole new world. And there are so many points even now where I don't feel like I truly belong, because I think I'm so Pakistani, so cultured and so ethnic,
Right.
that I don't think I would ever truly fit in completely with Britain.
Oh, that's interesting. So, what do you think is something that people who don't know you might be surprised to learn about you?
I think a lot of people would be surprised to know how hardworking I am. I think people really like you said, people underestimate me to be like, oh, she's just such a fun, bubbly little girl. She's so cute. She's just a baby. But I put in my 100% into everything. So everything I do with my full commitment, and I'm very hardworking.
You really are. You really are. With all of this, now you step back into England, you're navigating that new life, that new chapter, trying to fit in, feeling a bit excluded. At which point did pageantry come into play? Or was that ever even something that crossed your mind as a young girl? Like,
Honestly speaking, I never thought the stage was for someone like me, especially because I always knew if it was to ever do anything like this, it would be for Pakistan. So I knew that media would have never accepted someone of my skin tone, someone of my faith, someone that comes from my background. We've grown up hearing obviously about Miss Universe, Miss World, but the closest representation I had was India.
right.
So I never really saw myself doing this. It was only up until 2023 when, Erica Robin did create history, and I kept up with her journey, being a Pakistani Christian herself. And it was actually my sister who pushed me to apply.
Yeah.
We were sat at the airport and she was like, they're looking for the next Miss Universe. Like, why don't you do this? Like, you have the voice, you have the fire, you have the passion. And most importantly, I had a purpose that I was like, I want more dark-skinned girls to be represented in Pakistani media. And not just Pakistani media, across the globe. We need to normalize girls, normalize normal bodies, just normal girls.
Right.
That we've gotten too used to seeing just a perfect filtered girls in media, that normal girls stand out in a bad way.
Correct.
And that has never sit right with me. So Verha was just like, you have this, you have a purpose, you have a story, go out there, apply. Like, what's the worst that could happen is they'll say no. And I came with no background, so I was just like, I don't think I will succeed in my first go. But I was very surprised to do this, and I'm grateful. And now that I've done this, I'm like, nothing else makes more sense for me than this journey.
I love it. What then happened in the process of, like, after applying? What were the things that you had to do in order to prepare? I imagine you did some research at this point, right? So
Yeah.
what was that process like?
I think just like most of Pakistan, I did not have too much knowledge on the behind the scenes of pageantry. I've not grown up with the powerhouse countries where pageantry is fed to them from a very young age.
Yes.
So I went in completely inexperienced, no knowledge. I did a lot of self-funded work before joining Miss Universe Pakistan, where even in England, like, it wasn't that easy to get passerella training. So that was all self-taught before that competition. Q&A and stuff, like I had to get trained by myself, any information I could find online. But I think people underestimate how much effort and work goes into pageantry. They think it's, you just get on stage, you look pretty, and that's it.
Yes.
But there's the amount of studying I did, even for the Miss Universe Pakistan competition. I don't think I've used my brain as much since my degree.
I so relate to that feeling. You're taking me right back. Oh my gosh. It's like you're preparing a year ahead before you even step on stage.
Exactly.
And it takes a different kind of mentality because
yeah.
you have doubts, but then some part of you has to also believe that you will be on that
Yes.
stage, because you want to also be preparing mentally for what
Exactly.
will I wear once I'm on stage? How will I rock the national
Exactly.
costume? What will it be like? And you're so right. YouTube, for the girls who don't have much experience, they have, thankfully, YouTube to rely
YouTube
on,
is
everything
huge, yeah.
online. With you, I think speaking skills are very, very commendable. So I still commend that you went out of your way to still study it and practice, because
Yeah.
you really do need to
You
reflect again, don't you?
Yeah.
Just when you thought you knew yourself,
Yes.
some prompt questions in pageantry will actually require for you to revisit, wait, do I like this? What do I think about this?
I think that's the main thing. The questions that they do ask are intense. Even in our
Yes.
Miss Universe Pakistan competition, the
I
final round of
remember.
questions, I was like, I never expected them to be that intense. But yeah, I just wish people would know a lot more about what goes into pageantry, that it's not just, the looks.
And it costs.
It costs.
Let's please discuss this so that there's transparency for, future pageant
Exactly.
candidates. Like, a lot of the costs you will have to bear
Incur
on your
yourself,
own.
yes.
So,
And
whew,
especially coming from a country like Pakistan, I didn't have many sponsors. Well, Miss Universe Pakistan competition was 100% myself.
yes,
Everything I did was for myself. And then the Miss Universe competition, after being announced, I had a handful of sponsors from Pakistan that gave me outfits.
I love it.
Other than
Good.
that, it was all by myself. And by handful, I literally mean I can list from the top of my head 4. There was 4 outfits that I got sent, and I'm so endlessly grateful for these companies for believing in me and, taking that leap of faith. But I had a lot of comments. I personally loved every single one of my items for my wardrobe, and they all meant a lot to me, and they held a lot of importance to me, my background, and what part of Pakistan I wanted to represent. But I had a lot of comments from Pakistanis saying, your wardrobe isn't as good as, the Latinas. Look at how they're wearing ball gowns in the morning. And I'm like, how do you expect a girl to afford all of these things when my country isn't giving me this backing? Like, these Latinas are coming with so much support from their countries. They have so many sponsors, and a lot of these girls are already established influencers, celebrities.
Correct.
So they have a lot of backing in terms of that.
They have the connections for it, and some of them may have had more time to prepare,
time,
right?
yes.
Which makes all the difference.
makes a
That's
lot
so
of
true.
difference.
Pakistan is, you're only the 3rd Miss
Yes.
Universe Pakistan.
Yeah.
So that's what people need to understand as well, is that it takes time for the
It
country to
does.
build like the trust in order to be
Absolutely.
like, oh, okay, that's something I could put my brand behind and,
Exactly.
sponsor her.
Exactly.
Some of them don't even understand
They
the
don't.
point
They
yet,
don't know what
right?
Miss Universe is. But I do wish people would just use some, critical thinking to be like, why would any girl want to go into the competition and be dressed plainer than the other girls?
Correct.
Like, every girl is doing the best they can within their budgets,
Correct.
within what is accessible to them. Like, just give them a little bit of grace.
I had to borrow Heidi's clothes. I know the vibes. Like, you just gotta do what you gotta
have
do
to
with
do
the
what you have
time you have, and and exactly, you don't even, sometimes you might not even feel as great, right? Because then you're
Yes.
the one that sees all
All
the
the girls,
powerhouse
yes.
girlies
In their gorgeous embellished gowns.
red carpet looks for breakfast, and you're
Yeah,
like,
it's literally like the Met Gala at breakfast, and I'm like,
yeah, but you just have to rock it
You
with
do,
confidence,
you
because
do.
I think, remind yourself of why you're actually there, right? And there's a
Exactly.
bigger purpose for you than the shiny
Than the
clothes.
outfits,
Although
absolutely.
that adds to
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely helps with like the media attention, but everyone is trying their best.
Yes.
And I wish people would point fingers at the country, the media, the community more than the girls themselves, because at the end of the day, we're just girls. We're trying our best. We're doing our best to represent our country. And like you said, I think I felt a lot of confidence in my outfit choices because I knew each one was so personal to me, my style, and what I wanted to represent. But yeah.
Beautiful. So I want you to tell me about the moment that you found out that you had won Miss Universe Pakistan. What were the first things that went through your mind?
I think literally the first thing I said was, "Are you joking?" Because this is one of my biggest regrets in life, is that I didn't truly believe in myself before other people did, before my national director, before my family, my sisters did. They all saw the fire and potential in me before I did. But I think, that comes from growing up in a world where we have been told that skinny and light skin is the beauty standard. So I just never thought I was entirely worthy of this before other people did. And it wasn't quite deep into my journey where I was like, I am so amazing, actually. I'm so good at this and I deserve this as much as the next girl.
And that's what's so important, right? See, people say pageantry is this and pageantry is that. But when you go into it with your own purpose, you come out and leave with something else,
So, yeah.
despite all whatever chaos is going on. And I think
Exactly.
for you found, I think, your confidence.
I did. I truly flourished in this environment, and I think the self-worth and confidence and the just belief in myself I have gained through this whole journey has been unreal.
How did your family react when they found out? Did anybody cry first?
Yeah, my mommy.
Really?
My mom cried. But I think my family have always been my biggest supporters. And like I said, my sisters and my little brother were the first people to be like, you can do this. Like, I had so much self-doubt even going into the Miss Universe Pakistan competition, because I was like, I have no preparation, like, compared to the other girls who have done pageants before.
Yeah.
But my family has always had no doubt. They knew it was going to be me, and they have always been so supportive in everything that I do.
Can I just say, I was there in the Maldives, like, while you girls were competing. And I also got a little bit of that energy from you, where I was like, she's here. So I know she's here for a very good reason. You know what I mean? But there was something that I was like, I feel like there's like something hidden. I didn't know how to explain it with you. You know, there was like a light that was just waiting to shine at the
Yeah.
right time. And then when I finally saw you again last night, today, I'm like, oh my God, that glow is finally, like, it's there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
not just because you overcame and went through all of this. I just think, like you said, you needed to just, that flick
It
in
was
your
a mindset switch.
Yeah, the mindset.
Yeah, I love asking everyone that I meet, even when I met Erica, because she came to support me at the competition in Thailand.
Lovely.
That was the first thing I asked her. I was like, do you see the difference from the Maldives competition to me now?
Big time. Big time. When you walk into a room, she's like, I'm it, I'm queen. And not in even like a way where
Yes.
it's, obnoxious or anything. It's just you're owning it.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I
Thank
think
you.
once you own it, that's when other people will see
Absolutely.
that and they'll be like, that's my queen. I think all you had to do this whole time was just own it from day one. And I
Yes.
think the fact that you did that even after the haters, which we'll get to in a bit, is really, really something to be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
So with all of this, we go into now the announcement, Miss Universe Pakistan. Comments, vile. Vile, vile, vile. Great comments, though, from the
Great.
Latin
Yes.
community and the Asian
Yes.
communities. They saw your Q&A as well, and they were like, I mean, we saw her perform. It's not like there was nothing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, absolutely.
she deserved it from what we saw performance-wise. What were some of the comments that kind of got to you initially?
To be fair, I think going into this competition, I knew that this would come with a lot of backlash, because like I've said, there's been not many dark-skinned people that have made it into Pakistani media.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest issue with the Pakistani community through this whole journey was most of them have no knowledge on pageants.
Right.
And they were coming online and giving all of these opinions, and it was almost embarrassing having other communities, other groups come out and be like, did we all watch the same pageant because she succeeded in the Q&A? But the Pakistani community didn't even watch the pageant.
Right.
Most of them didn't even know that there was a Miss Universe Pakistan competition that was held. I think one of my biggest issues with the comments that came out was there was a theory running that I was related to a politician, and that's how I won the competition, because they have no knowledge on the process. They never even looked at what I went through, the training, the competition. And I think if anyone watched the competition, they would also agree with the sentiment. But I think that comment hurt the most, because I've come from a middle-class Christian family in Pakistan. Like, everything my family has done has been through a lot of hard work from my parents. There was times in my childhood where I wouldn't see my dad for days because he was working back-to-back jobs to build a life for me and my siblings. My parents are the most hardworking people I know, and I think anyone that hasn't grown up as a minority in Pakistan will never understand how hard it is to kind of secure your spot in that country. And, seeing my parents struggle, living the struggles of, not seeing my family often, not seeing my parents and seeing them struggle all the time to secure their spot, it kind of hurt to then see that be discredited because people wanted to make a baseless rumor that I'm related to a politician. Because I would love these connections. My family would love these connections if they existed.
Be fab.
So send them through, whoever has this rumor. But yeah, I think it's just awful to have all my family's hard work. And my parents, like, they have sacrificed so much to get us where we are. And even now, like, I can't go into Pakistan and get all the privileges because I'm not from a privileged community. Like, I will never experience the privileges that the majority does, or, you know, the girls that fit the beauty standard in Pakistan will.
Right.
So I wish people wouldn't discredit the hard work I've put in and then
Your
what my family
family.
have done.
Yeah.
My parents have worked too hard for it to be put into a category of she has ties.
Yeah, it's like why it's so unfortunate to limit exactly what your family has gone through, what you have gone through,
Exactly.
because like you said, there are systems in
There are
place to
systems.
determine who is the next queen. So could you walk us through that? Like, how does one determine? I know, but like the ones that don't know, how does one make come to that decision of like who to
Yeah.
crown Miss Universe Pakistan?
Yeah, I do wish people would learn more about the process because there is a lot that goes into it, like you said. So the competition started with application process for Miss Universe Pakistan, where we had to send a lot of essays on why we think we deserve this, a lot of answering political and ethical questions. So you know, they can suss out your mindset because it's
Yes.
not just about your looks. And I think at this point we didn't even have to submit too many actual pictures. It was mainly just focused on your brain
True.
and your ability to answer and be a good queen. So after that, it was a lot of interviews. I had, I think, in total around 3 interviews.
Wow.
One including a group interview with all of the other girls, where, you know, they asked.
No video did you guys do that one?
No, we had a video for this one.
Okay.
It was with Smile Train Dubai.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so we had the chance to answer a lot of questions, speak about our advocacies, speak about our purpose beyond the crown and beyond the superficial side of it, which I think was also incredibly hard because there are so many amazing girls that applied. The caliber of women that applied with incredible jobs, incredible backgrounds, incredible stories, that their looks are the least interesting thing about them because they just have so much going on otherwise. So I think at that point I was like, shoot, like maybe I stand no chance because like look at these amazing women. But then after that was when I think they shortlisted it to top 20.
Right.
And then they cut it down to top 6, which were invited to the Maldives for the competition. And I think this is where my main self-doubt really began, was when I was preparing for this competition. I was doing this alongside my full-time job. So, you know, working a 9 to 5, having very limited hours to a 9 to 5 never ends up being a 9 to 5. It's like a 7 to 7, including your commute, your gym. And then by the time I'm home, I'm like, I have 3 hours to practice, to learn stuff for this pageant, and then get to bed and then do it all again tomorrow.
And campaign. Right?
Exactly,
You
the
have to
social
post
media
on
aspect.
social media.
And like I said, it was all self-funded. Like I did this all alone with the help of my family only. And the training process is intense, even just for Miss Universe Pakistan, which is a small pageant compared to Miss Universe.
Right.
But just training your mind to be prepared for any question that comes your way, training your walk. And I went from never wearing heels. I had kind of accepted very early on that I am short, I'm going to look short, even if I wear heels. So why put myself?
You made peace with it, as you should, queen.
I was like, it is what it is. My height doesn't determine anything.
Exactly. It's 2025.
Exactly. So I never used to wear heels. So the biggest thing was, you know, getting used to walking in heels also. And a lot of these powerhouse countries, or, you know, a lot of girls that have done pageants before have the technique down with their muscles. Because at the end of the day, it's just technique and muscle memory.
Yes.
So, and that takes time, which I did not have.
To get your body used to the hip sway
Yes,
and
we
all
were literally
that.
talking
The
about
duck walks.
this. Yeah.
So, to determine the winner, all of that comes into play, right? All of that is being judged by a group of judges in this competition. And of course, the national directors also have a say in it based on what you wrote about yourself, how you speak, how you carry yourself. What a lot of people don't know also is, is how you are behind the scenes is also scored, not just in the international Miss Universe, but also in some national competition.
Yeah.
That's very important for the
is.
directors to see how you will be working with the group.
How
A little
you
bit
interact
sassy.
with people.
Yes.
How you handle the pressure, the timelines. So yeah, there's a group of, I think my competition had 6 judges, was my judging panel, and then obviously the national director. And that's the thing. Like, everyone gets an opinion. Everyone gets to say, the makeup artist, the chaperones walking us around the villa. Like, everyone gets an opinion on, this girl was polite. This girl was awful. Like, this girl was so rude when she didn't like her makeup. So there's a lot that goes into this decision making. Like, nobody becomes Miss Universe by accident.
Correct.
There's a lot that goes into this, and I wish people would understand that a lot more.
Yes, I always even tell people not to be to be a little bit cautious when they're saying, "Oh, you didn't deserve this. You didn't," because you weren't there.
You weren't there.
You weren't there. You don't know the situation that put this person there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think to be a little bit more mindful of that, because that's hurtful to the girls and that's hurtful to their efforts as well. Everybody
Yes.
wants the dream as much
Yeah.
as you know, whoever's in it.
Exactly.
So to keep that grace amongst each
Yes.
other, that's the true
Yeah.
makings of a queen,
It
if
is,
you will.
yes.
My God, my British accent's gonna come through, Roma. I can't help it. I'm so sorry.
You're so good at it.
Thanks, love. It's all the years of Harry Pottering. So, how did you find a way to then turn all those negative comments into fuel during the actual competition?
I think my purpose from this has always been clear from the beginning. I wanted to be the representation for girls that look like me, that have grown up looking like me and never seen themselves on stages like this, or even just Pakistani media.
Right.
So I think for me, it was quite easy to turn that into my fuel and be like, this is exactly why I'm doing this, because I know any girl who does this is going to face this backlash. It's not personal to me. It has nothing to do with who I am, how I look. It's just my skin tone, my faith, what I am is going to hurt people no matter who it is. So I think that was my biggest fuel. And I think the comments actually helped me believe in my purpose more, because I was like, this is exactly it.
Yes.
And I have an amazing support system. I have the best family around me who helped me do all of this, to come out of this as mentally stable as I possibly can. But I think my biggest takeaway from this was that I am so lucky and blessed that I have such thick skin and such strong self-confidence, and I have such a strong support system, because I think had it been someone slightly weaker than me, they would have not made it out of this as happy as I have, or as mentally stable as I have. And I think people jump online afterwards when the damage has been done to be like, we need to be kinder. We need to do better for the public.
When
we need
it's
to do
too
better
late.
when it's too late. But people leave comments, and they might forget about the comment they've left as soon as they've pressed the submit button. But the person reading it has to keep it with them. And especially from the Pakistani community, like, we're a faith-filled country.
Right.
And everyone leaving these comments, 90% of the time, they had a religious quote in their bio. And I'm like, where is this religion coming from?
Tea, by the way.
Yeah.
Actual tea, by the
Yeah,
way. It always be like that.
So it's just, I wish people would be kinder.
Yes.
I dealt with it well, and I can't even imagine how anyone slightly weaker than me would have dealt with this. So it's concerning.
So did you then, after all of this, get any girls that maybe look like you, that come from the same background, faith as you, to say, like, you know what, thank you so much?
Every single day, my comments are flooded with, my DMs and comments are flooded with girls being like, thank you for doing this. Like, I love myself so much more because what you're saying is true. And I think it's hard to, tune out what the media is saying.
Right.
When you're growing up and you're seeing it constantly, like, lightening creams being advertised.
Oh my God, yes.
So it's hard to, separate that. Whereas I think I've always been so secure in my skin tone from the beginning. But like, some girls aren't. So just seeing me stand on stage and be like, yes, I am dark skinned, but what about it? It really did help them feel better. And that has been the biggest blessing of this journey. And, every time I read a message from a girl saying thank you, I feel so seen. I'm like, this makes everything worth it.
It was everything you would have wanted as a little girl as well, right?
During my training in the Philippines, I was literally just coming out of the gym, and it was me and my national director, and this group of little kids came up to us. I think they must have been maximum 12. And I think they were just coming out of school, and they were like, oh my God, wow, like, you're Miss Universe, whatever, whatever. And they were just saying nice things. And then this little girl grabbed me, and she was like, everyone is so beautiful, but you're the most beautiful because you have dark skin like me. And I was like, I had to like just turn around because
Compose
I was like, I
yourself.
can't cry in front of this child.
Right.
But like, I knew exactly what this little girl meant because I know I would have loved to see someone like me growing up.
Exactly.
Because that took a lot of self-work, self-journey. And if I had just had media representation, it would have probably done wonders because representation matters.
It really does.
Especially
Even
when you're
today, even with what we have, I feel like sometimes they just throw it in for inclusivity bits. But I feel like the real representation is when we come to a point where we no longer have to say it.
Say it, absolutely. Because representation isn't only being allowed in the room, it should be being celebrated.
Equally, all in an equal form too.
Equally, yes.
So how were the previous Miss Universe Pakistan queens, were they, supportive at all and throughout this whole process when they were seeing all the, commotion online after you were announced? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I had both of them reach out. They were both very lovely, and I've had a lot of support from both of them. And I kind of did reach to them a lot for advice and support for how to prepare for this and what I need to know before going into the competition. So I'm very grateful for them and everything they've done for me. And Erica has came out to support me in Thailand, which is
So
amazing because in that crowd, like there's not many Pakistani viewers. Like I think it was literally just Erica and my family.
Right.
So having them both there with the Pakistani flag meant a lot to me. And I know it did for her too, because I know she was so upset the first year that she went and she didn't see one Pakistani flag in the crowd. So I was very grateful for the support and I can't wait to see them both properly when I land back in Pakistan.
Tell us about that. So you're going to go to Pakistan soon. You're in Dubai now.
Yes.
Like you went for a wedding. What else are the plans?
Just general relaxing.
Love.
After the intense few months I've had, like I was literally saying to one of the girls the other day, I don't think I've relaxed since the Miss Universe Pakistan competition. So that was around 4 months of preparation. The whole process, application process, was over a year.
Yes.
But like intensely preparing for 4 months. And then the competition was a week in the Maldives. And then since then, it was obviously just the Miss Universe prep. So I don't think I've really relaxed in almost a year. So once the competition was over, I was like, I need to not wear heels, not wear as limited makeup, comfortable clothes.
Eat everything under the sun.
And just relax. So we came for a family wedding in Abu Dhabi and then me and my family decided to extend our trip to Dubai to just enjoy. And, we miss the Middle East. We've grown up here, so this feels a lot like a second home. So just generally enjoying. I'm glad we got to fit this in and I got to see you.
So glad. I want to also ask you, what were some of the, Middle Eastern dishes that you guys got to try again now that you're back? Like anything you loved before that you're like, oh, I need to have this now?
Broast and thom. I love garlic. Like I will, and
It's the best
kapsa. We love
combo.
kapsa, zaatar, all of it. It's all good.
Doesn't hit the same as it does here, right? In the
No,
region.
absolutely not. I think when we first moved to England, obviously we grew up eating a lot of kapsa. Mum and dad went searching and searching for one in the UK. And I think my dad found one that was almost like 40 minutes away.
Oh, God.
And he drove all the way, brought it back for us to eat at home. And we were so excited. And I think at this point, everyone was so hungry. But it was not the same as the Saudi one.
Yeah,
so.
never is. It never is.
So we're super excited to be here and try all the authentic stuff again.
Amazing. I so look forward to, I wish you guys could be here longer.
I know.
But I know you guys are already doing the most. You've already done Global Village, which is, an honorary right
Yes.
for tourist families. Khalas, like this is, you've done half the thing. You're good to go. So now I want to get on the pageant part, stepping onto the international stage. How many suitcases did you fly with?
6.
Wow.
But that was because my dad is very good at packing. Like those suitcases were stuffed.
Is
and
it?
then I ended up buying 2 more once I got there because once I opened things up, I was like, I can't do what my dad has done.
That's too much effort. Exactly. And then that's actually smart because then
Yes.
leaving with it later. Oh
Exactly.
my God. So 6 suitcases. Your roommate was?
Bangladesh. She had a lot.
She had a lot.
She came with, I think, almost 16.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How did you fit that into the room?
Our first room in Bangkok was huge.
Okay.
So we just left it in like the front area and then the other rooms got progressively smaller. So it was leaving them in the corridor outside.
No way.
Yeah.
My roommate was Bangladesh too last year, and we
Oh,
both had, I think, 6 suitcases each, and we
that's
had
nice.
such a hard time. So I can't imagine
Yeah.
like 6 and 16.
Hmm. Yeah, she had a
Whoo!
lot.
Oh my God. And then, like, what was it like? What was like the initial days like for you?
So I think because this is the first time I've done anything like this,
Right.
I come from a very different background. Like just work in a 9 to 5. Like I've never even modeled before. I've never been in front of a camera. So a lot of it was just getting used to that process, which I think was my biggest hurdle. Just, having the confidence in front of camera, just experimenting with my poses because my Instagram pictures are all taken by my siblings who will be very upfront to be like, change this, do that. But, other people are not going to tell me that. So it was just, that was the biggest part. But meeting all the girls was so much fun. And the first few days was just a lot of mingling, getting to know each other and finding home within each other, which was so much fun. I think the biggest blessing from this journey was the sisterhood and the friendships we made. And I don't think anyone would have been able to come out of that competition sane had we not had each other.
Very true. On that note, who were some of the sisters that you feel you've made for life, and what
Yeah.
makes you feel that way about them?
There's so many girls and everyone was so, so lovely. But I think the two that I was probably ended up being closest to was the Philippines and India.
I love it.
Yeah, I think me and Atisa were together all the time because we're in the P group.
Right.
And she kind of ended up being like a big sister to me, where she would help me, like, if I was sat down, taking my heels off, she'd be like, come on, get back in line now. Put your heels back on.
Aw.
And a lot of pep talks behind stage between me and Atisa. And she has a lot more knowledge. She's been doing pageants since she was tiny. So I would rely on her for a lot of support, and she was always so happy to give it. And between breaks, backstage, we would lie down on the floor together, lift our feet. She would give me head scratches. Like it was really good with
That's
Atisa.
so
It was just we were very
cute.
comfortable together. And India as well. She was like a sister to me, being two young girls in a different country together. This was my first time solo traveling. So being together, sharing our same language, shared culture, we really found home within each
I
other.
love that.
And there was just a lot of comfort where, there was times where we were eating cuisines that we don't normally eat, and then we'd be like, God, like we just want some desi food, like let's go backstage and order some desi food together. So it was really good having her as well. Them two ended up being my biggest support systems, and I'm so grateful for them.
That's beautiful. You're so right that these sisters are really the ones that can turn a day where you don't have energy, you have 2 hours of sleep, and you're like, please no, into, oh, at least I get to see this person. At least I get to run
Exactly.
jokes with this
Yeah.
person, right?
And it was just so fun. Like all the girls were actually so nice and
Yes.
hilarious. Like we were having so much fun backstage all the time.
That's what people always would ask also beauty queens, right? Like, what is the environment really like backstage? But it's like, yes, you'll have one or two odd people that are not that into socializing or maybe came with a different agenda and they're just all about themselves. But then there are really the girls that, it's so interesting. Like they want to get to know you. They will
Yeah.
offer to take your picture. They will
Yes.
lend a helping hand, teach you your
Exactly.
pasarela backstage,
Exactly.
and just, offer their shoulder
They
for
will.
you to lay your head on
Yeah.
if you're too
They're
exhausted.
too exhausted.
It's a
Yeah.
very all in this together
It is.
environment.
I didn't feel like we were competing against each other in Miss Universe. There was, like you said, majority of the girls were all so, so kind. And the support system was amazing. And we were all so good to each other backstage, like helping with each other's dresses, tying each other up, like taking extensions out.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing.
What were your thoughts about Thailand?
I loved Thailand. Thailand was actually my destination for my honeymoon, whenever that happens, because my sister just went to Thailand for her honeymoon.
Okay.
But I loved it. It was very similar to Pakistan. It was as loud, busy. The people there are as friendly and kind as Pakistan, and the food is spicy. So
Ooh.
I felt
Exactly.
right.
That's actually
Yeah.
good. Did you prefer Phuket or Bangkok?
Phuket. I think especially through the busyness of the competition, Phuket was just a lot quieter and more serene. So I think that was nice, which is strange because I'm usually a city girl. So I really thought I would have preferred Bangkok, but I think in the busyness, Phuket just felt like a little quiet zone.
It makes you forget about like the craziness of the competition, right? We're
Exactly.
like, oh, at least there's a sea to my
Yes, at
right.
least there's nice trees.
So if you could relive one moment at Miss Universe that is still very fresh in your mind, which moment would that be and why?
I think my prelims evening gown walk.
Really? Tell us. Why?
I chose a dress that was quite the statement dress for an evening gown
Mm-hmm,
round.
mm-hmm.
I really wanted to represent the minority groups in Pakistan, and especially my minority group. I'm part of the 1% of Pakistani Christians in Pakistan, and we are never represented in media like this. So I knew I needed to do something that gave them the space, gave them the platform to be seen. And I ended up in part of my walk, I did a sign of the cross, and the cheers in the audience were insane. Like, coming from a country like Pakistan where we don't get as many cheers as, the powerhouse countries do. So in that moment, I was like, wow, people really liked that. And then the next day, like, when you come down from the hotel room, the lobby is full of media.
Yes, always.
Yeah, and I literally walked down, like I was trying to make my way to get some coffee, and literally everyone was like, Pakistan, Pakistan, and about 7 people did the sign of the cross back to me that I did in my walk. And in that moment,
It's
I was
iconic.
like, it was a pinch me moment, and I was like, that made an impact. And that is one moment I think I could do again and again.
So prelims, evening gown, that was such an iconic moment. Again, such a great representation of the 1%, the minority in Pakistan. Now, how about the burkini round? What was that like for you?
I'm so glad that that's been included into the Miss Universe stage because it gives a chance for countries like ours to be represented. We wouldn't have had the opportunity to go be at Miss Universe if that wasn't included into that. So I'm grateful to do that. And I'm grateful to represent the majority of the girls in Pakistan, because if you were to ask a girl in Pakistan to come to a beach club, she isn't going to be in a bikini. Right. So I'm very grateful to represent the majority faith, the majority of the girls in Pakistan, and make them feel included and seen too. And a lot of people had a lot of comments online to be like, who's wearing this to swim? And it's like, do some research. The girls of Pakistan, the religious girlies, are wearing this. Right. And we come from a very faith-filled country, a very modest country. And to have those girls feel seen and represented on that stage as well was very important to me. I didn't want to show just one side of Pakistan. Like I said, there was 21 days. It was intense, and it's hard to show all the diversity of Pakistan. But I tried my best to make every aspect of Pakistan be seen. I wanted every girl in Pakistan to see one aspect of themselves on the stage through my journey.
I love it. It wasn't just, hey, I'm Roma.
Yes.
This is, I'm representing this entire side of me. While that's also needed, though, and great. But you were also like, let's not forget the majority of the people. And like, I don't know, I just love that you included everybody in the mix.
Thank you.
And I think even myself, as somebody who's known of, obviously, Pakistan and have Pakistani friends, even I wasn't that aware about the minority groups in Pakistan. And thanks to you and Erica, that is now something that I know for life, something that I can correct people on, like in the streets, like, hey, I know this. All right. The competition comes to an end. Finals. You're probably glad you can sleep after all of this is over. But before it ends, Miss Universe announces Mexico as the winner. What are your thoughts on this? I know you and Fatma, I think, were close.
Yeah, so me and Fatima was one of the girls I was actually very close to behind stage, because we ended up finding a lot of friendship and unity together as sisters of Christ. So we spent a lot of time together praying, talking about our journey with God, and even just little things like praying in the morning that I hope our feet don't hurt together today in the heels. So I had a lot of fun with Fatima, and I think she's a lovely, lovely girl. And I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions, but I think any of the 120 candidates would have made a perfect queen. Each national competition picked the best of the best. True. And it was a wonderful batch with amazing girls with so much potential and so much kindness and so much power to bring to this world. And I think any one of us would have made an amazing queen, but there's a lot of judging that goes into this. There's a process that even we don't know completely, and we will never know. So I trust the competition, and I trust Lord to make the best decision for whoever the next queen is. And I think Fatima has a lot of love and light to give to the world. And I really hope people would see that, because the comments that she is getting and the backlash she is getting is incredibly hard for someone who is, we're just humans at the end of the day. You know, she is also reading those comments. She is feeling every emotion any person would feel. Just because she's a Miss Universe does not make her immune to all of this. So I would hate to see us jump onto the internet 3 months down the line and then be like, oh, we should have been kinder to her, because now she's really upset.
So
when
true.
now is the chance to do better, to be better, and make a safer world for not just her, but the younger generation growing up, watching and reading all of these comments too. I do hope the world is kinder to her, because I faced a ton of backlash, and that was at a much smaller scale compared to her. So I can't even imagine how she's processing all of this. But she has a lot of love and light to give to the world, just like all the other candidates. And I do hope the world is nicer to her.
That is so sweet. I love that you're giving her the same grace that like you would have really needed in the time that this was also happening to you. So congratulations, Fatima.
Congratulations.
Over here we would say Fatma. So
Yeah,
good.
me too.
Fatima,
The first
Fatma.
few times we spoke to her, and I was like, how do you want me to pronounce your name? Because I would say Fatima. And she was like, yeah, that's good. She was
Fatima.
Like, yeah,
Okay,
she was
nice.
like, however you want to say it, however you feel comfortable.
I
So
love it.
she responds to Fatima as well.
I love it. I would have been like, Fatum, how's things, babes? All right. You have a couple of months left. Queen it up. Live your best life. This is the time to really do what you set out to do. I want to know, what are the 3 things that you want to continue or do now that Miss Universe is done?
I love that. I think my overarching most important point from all of this has always been my advocacy. I want to improve the literacy rates of women in Pakistan. And, you know, I've done a lot of work with various charities whilst I was outside of Pakistan, but being in Pakistan is going to make this a lot easier.
Right.
So improving that, making enough noise for girls to have a better opportunity has always been my main goal. And, you know, continue breaking the stereotypes. I want the world to see what Pakistani women are, not just in Pakistan, but globally we're still not represented. So I want the world to know what Pakistani women are capable of, how powerful we are, and how much we can bring to this world. And in Pakistan, continue breaking the stereotypes and the beauty standards that we have set. I want every girl to feel accepted, feel loved and seen, and know that she is enough just the way that she is, and hope that she can see herself not just through me, but I want to see a huge shift in Pakistani media where we're having a lot more diversity. So those 2 are my main points. And then on top of that, I just want to have fun. I haven't relaxed in a year since this whole journey has been going on, since preparing for Miss Universe Pakistan to doing the Miss Universe competition. So in my journey, in my reign now, I just want to enjoy and have so much fun, because like you said, we only get this once. I have this title for not super longer than I have had now, so I'm going to have as much as fun as possible, and I want to enjoy every single day.
I love it. Sleep, enjoy, meet new people, really utilize it, right, for the opportunities that it does bring, and use the voice.
Exactly.
And I love already that your entire pageant journey has created a dialogue in Pakistan. I think that's one of the more remarkable things about, the most, if not the most remarkable things about your journey, is that there's now a dialogue. Like, why were we like this? Why did we react this way?
Exactly.
Why do we, I saw things online that said, like, why do we hate ourselves? Because like, why are we saying she's not us when she's very much us?
Exactly. I think this has been a huge cultural shift in Pakistan, and that is way more important to me than any crown, any title, because I have truly served my purpose.
What would you like to say, or what advice would you give to the next Miss Universe Pakistan?
I think less advice. I would just give her a lot more support. I would love to see the next Miss Universe Pakistan already come in with so much self-assurance and have the kindness that is needed to be a queen. Everything else, you know, the training, the development, we can work on that afterwards. But I would just like to give her as much support, because I know how much I struggled doing this alone, completely self-funded, like I said. And all the training, all the knowledge, I was gaining that all alone. So I think I would just like to give her a lot more support in terms of help with sponsors, her wardrobe, so she doesn't have to struggle as much as I did, because
struggle was real.
It was real.
Even in terms of organizing yourself, right? And how to get little extra sleep during the competition. All these things matter. And only the queens who went through it would know.
And
No
I think
amount of training could give you that. Only
nothing can
another
prepare
queen
you for
could give
that.
you that.
Yeah. And I think we had a very busy year with Miss Universe this year, so we were running on very little sleep. So I have a lot of support and advice to give her.
And electrolytes.
Electrolytes, a lot of hydration, queen.
All right, for my final question, what is your burj, the dream that you're still building?
Ooh. I think it will always be to break the stereotypes, have a world where women are accepted for who they are. I would love the world to just be kinder, so the little girls growing up don't have to read these awful opinions, these awful comments from not just men, but women too.
Everyone.
And it's like, why are we hating on a fellow woman? Why are we creating this hostility, this negative experience when we would just love the world to be a kinder space? And I don't have children, but I know a lot of these women commenting on my pictures do. And I have to be like, how would you feel?
How do you talk to your kids?
Like, are you teaching this to your child as well? And overall, you know, everyone is beautiful as they are. There's a lot more to beauty than just your superficial, your skin tone, your body type. We need to strive for fitness, health overall, and health does not look the same on every single person.
Correct.
I am one of the most active people I know. I go to the gym 5 times a week, and that is not to be a size 0, because that is just not what my body is ever going to be. And I think once the world accepts that everyone is the way that they are, and that's the way God made us, and if we can just strive for general health, general mental well-being as well, not just physical health, we would have a much better world, and that will always be what I am building towards.
And the new Miss Universe is... That was such a beautiful answer to that question. Thank you so much, Roma. Before we end things, our final segment is called the Mirror Mirror segment. You have a little pearly shell, you pick a paper, it says past, present, or future. Whatever you get, you pick up the mirror and you say a lovely message to that version of yourself. And you look into the mirror.
Future.
Future.
That was one I actually wasn't thinking about.
I love it. So, Roma, what would you like to say to future Roma?
I hope my present self is making you proud. I hope we're doing the work we need to build the future. And I hope we're happy, constantly learning and growing. And I hope you have the best support system around you at all times, the best friends. And I hope you're very grateful and blessed and very kind to everyone around you still.
Aww, are you crying?
Are you crying?
No tears left to cry, huh? Thank you so much, Roma. It's been a pleasure having you on Beauty and the Bridge.